Hi friends, Miss Winning here in Jackson. We are going to do a mindfulness practice since we've been talking about good, respectful listening skills when I come into your classrooms. We are going to do an exercise in mindful listening. So I am going to have you find a comfortable position to be seated in. And I am going to have you close your eyes. And when we close our eyes, we are going to just listen. So we are going to use our ears and we are going to listen for the sounds that we hear around us. Notice your breath, the breathing in and the breathing out. And then focus your attention and your listening on what sounds do you hear far away. So don't listen to the sounds that are in the room with you or just outside the room. What sounds can you hear? Maybe all the way down the hall, outside the window. Listen for those sounds. And now focus your attention and your listening on what you hear right outside the door. What do you hear right outside that door? Are there footsteps in the hall? Are there people talking on their way back to their classrooms? Listen for just those sounds outside the door. When you're listening to just those sounds outside the door, you'll notice that you have to ignore the distraction of the sounds down the hall and the sounds in your room to be able to focus on the sounds right outside the door. And finally, focus on the sounds inside the room now. Do you hear a clock ticking like I do? Do you hear anyone moving around? What sounds do you hear right around you in the room? Take a minute to focus on that. When you're focusing on just the sounds in the room, you need to make sure that you are ignoring distractions down the hall and right outside the room so that you can focus on the sounds that are happening just in the room. Open your eyes. Ignoring distractions is something that we talked about when we talked about focusing attention. And when we focus our attention and we ignore distractions, it means we really have to be focused on the one thing that we are trying to concentrate on, whether that's the sounds down the hall or the sounds right outside our room or the sounds in our room. And so I would challenge you throughout today to practice that skill of just focusing on one thing at a time. So maybe that's your teacher giving a lesson. Maybe that's the PE teacher talking or explaining a game. Maybe it's your friend when they're telling you a story at lunch. So practice that mindful listening today and see if people notice that you're being a better listener, and see if you notice that you hear more and you have a better idea of what's going on all the time because you're doing some mindful listening. So have fun practicing that, and I will see you next time.